Okay, 6th grade, this is evaluate expressions. And again, you have to go to the packet. You're going to want to start with the packet, whoops, that has the 13 exponents on there. So this is where you're going to start. So anyways, it's on this packet. Then you have to turn pages. That's one page. This is the back. Go past order of operations all the way to the end of that. Then you get to this one that we did not too long ago here. So the translate, that's the translate lesson 17. Keep on going. Keep going. Lesson 18, and then after 18, after you do that work, then we come to 19. So this is actually lesson 19. Okay, and this is evaluate. Evaluate just means you're gonna, it's kind of like solve, okay? But you don't, since you don't solve for a variable, you just evaluate. You're gonna put in what the value for the variable. Really easy. So let's get to that. Here's our example. What is the value of the expression below when m equals 5? So the expression is m to the power of 2, or m squared, minus 1, which means now when m equals 5, that becomes 5 to the power of 2, or 5 squared minus 1. Now you got to remember, 5 to the power of 2, this means 2 5s, but you're multiplying them. It doesn't mean, and it looks like that, oh, like, 2 times 5, that's different. 2 times 5 means 2 5s, but you're adding them. Okay? That's 2 times 5. 5 to the power of 2 means you got 2 5s, but you're multiplying them. So that's where the difference comes in, okay? All right, so now we're going to go back up here. Kind of going to use our order of operations as well when we do this, okay? So that's 5 times 5, so 5 times, I can use a dot also. You'll start to see this used more often. So order of operations, we do exponents first, okay? Here's your PEMDAS. There's no parentheses. The exponent is 5 times 5, which is 25, minus 1 equals 24. Okay, and then we're done with that one. Okay? And that's what they've done down here. So that's all we're doing. We're going to evaluate. We're going to find out, well, what goes in place of that letter? What's the value? And so we'll evaluate once we put that number in. Okay, let's go to number 3. What is the value of the expression below when n equals 10 and p equals 1? So this expression is n over 2 minus p. So there's two variables. And you might say, well, what does all this stuff mean? Well, so these are the kind of equations that they use when they're programming, like your computer. They're making games, they're creating movies, they're making things like in a manufacturing plant. Okay, like we have a plant close by up north of Dresden called thru, so they make all kinds of chemicals. They might use an equation like this to figure out how much of each chemical to put in. So it really is, what you're learning really is useful stuff. And this one, we're just going to say, okay, well, when n equals 10, so all you do is say, well, let's put 10 divided by 2, or 10 over 2, and then when p equals 1. Okay, we're still going to have our order of operations. So we want to go through that order, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, okay, addition or subtraction, and you go left to right. So we have actually division here, because 10 over 2 is the same as 10 divided by 2. Or we can think of it as 10 divided by 2. Or we can think of it as 10 divided by 2. So you got 3 ways. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 minus 1 equals 4. That's our final answer there. Okay? That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. So here we go. Here's the actual practice part here. Okay? So how we have, what is the value of the expression below when z equals 6? So we just copy the expression z divided by 2 minus 1. We have, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. we have parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, whatever comes first, addition or subtraction, left to right. We're going to put z. We're going to plug in the value for 6 for z. So z will be 6. Oops, hold on here. So instead of a z, I say 6 divided by 2 minus 1. And here, remember, it says parentheses, exponents, multiplication, or division. So we have division, and we would say 6 divided by 2 first. We wouldn't do 2 minus 1. So 6 divided by 2, 3 minus 1 equals 2. We got it. Okay, let's do the next one. Again, you can pause and copy that down. I'll just keep moving. What is the value of the expression below? And you have two variables, when p equals 6 and q equals 2. So we have, let's just do our, please excuse, let's get in the habit of putting this up there, left to right. And we'll do 8p, which means 8 times p, minus 2q, which means 2 times q. Remember, when you put those numbers and the variables next to each other in math, math is supposed to be like a code, and it's not supposed to use extra words or digits if it doesn't need them. So it's the shortest form possible. Okay, so this is p equals 6. So now we will go ahead and plug in here. So this is 8 times 6, and I'm getting that from up here, p equals 6, minus 2 times 2, q is 2, plus 3. And I have a little dot there. The dot's in the middle, so it's not, don't get confused. I didn't use x because sometimes with algebra, x could be a variable. So that's why they use that little dot. So that means 2 times 2, 8 times 6. Okay, so we have no parentheses, no exponents, but we have multiplication. So let's do that first. 8 times 6, and that is 48. 6 times 8 is 48. And we just copy down, minus 2 times 2 plus 3. So going from left to right, we still have multiplication, so we do multiplication. So now we have 48 minus 4 plus 3. Now we're all done with the multiplication, and there's no more division, so we do addition or subtraction, whichever comes first. So actually, oh, this is a good one. Okay, so look, the A comes before the S up here, but remember it's addition or. So actually what I usually have kids do is circle it. It's addition or subtraction, whichever comes closest. So it would be this. 48 minus 4, that's 44, plus 3 plus 47. So there's a case where, yeah, the A comes first, but you go from left to right. Okay, you go from left to right. Now they don't give you very much room, so I'm going to erase. You may have to you might even want to just use a separate piece of paper. Actually that's what I should have told you. Get an extra piece of paper because you want to do every step. Okay. And sure, you can say, well, I'm going to try to do all this in my head. Well, that's great. You can do it in your head, but then test it by putting the steps down. So remember, nobody's going to ever pay you for what you can do in your head. You got to show them what it is that you did. Why, when you fix their car, you got to itemize all the detail that you did, or they're not going to give you a cent. If you go in and want to build a house for someone, you can't just say, well, here, I'm going to charge you, $50,000. They want to see, well, what's the money going towards? So you got to always show that work. Okay, let's clean this up here. And let's check out the next one here. What is the value of the expression? Okay, same thing. B to the power of 2 plus 6. B to the power of 2 plus 6 when b equals 5. So this is going to be 5 power of 2 plus 6. So we just did this earlier. And again, you've got your PEMDAS, right? You've got your PEMDAS. Left to right, okay? So we've got an exponent. So 5, remember what that means is, that means 2 5s, but they're put together with multiplication. 2 times 5, that's different. That means 2 5s put together with addition. Okay, 2 times 5 means 2 copies of 5. This means 5 times 5. So 25. We do that first. I just underline it. Plus 6. And then you can just figure what that is. You can say, look, I can get up to 30. That's 5. And one more, 31. Okay. And again, we had to do the exponents first. Okay. All right, let's come down and take a look at this number 4 here. Let's get something different. What's the value of the expression below when c equals 7, d equals 2? Okay, and I'm going to just come down. I got a little more space. I'm going to come down here. 4c, which is 4 times c, plus d, plus 8. Going to do my PEMDAS up here. Okay, going from left to right. And I've got, for c equals 7, so that's 4 dot, or 4 times 7, plus it says d equals 2, 2 plus 8. Okay, I have no parentheses, no exponents, but I got multiplication. It comes first. 7 times 4. Oops. Okay, I ran this, so I can't go in this little gray spot. So what I'm going to do, this is what you can always do. Just going to draw an arrow to show where my work is going. So 28 plus 2 plus 8. Okay, now this is all addition. So it really doesn't matter what order I do this in. Okay, I'll just do it in this order. 28, because of commutative property, remember. Commutative. 28 plus 2 is 30, plus 8 equals 38. Okay, so we got 38. We're in good shape. All right, let's go take a look at the next one. Next one, number 5. Number 5. Okay, let's take a look here. What's the value of the expression below when a equals 2? So now I have 3. I'll do my PEMDAS here. Left to right. So now I have 3 plus a to the power of 3. So now I'm going to substitute in 3, and instead of an a, I'm going to have a 2. 2 to the power of 3. All right, remember 2 to the power of 3 means 3 2's, 2, 2, 2, connected with multiplication. Way different than 3 times 2, which would be 3 copies of 2 connected with addition. Okay, this would be 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. This is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So we'll kind of look at how I got that just real fast. Make sure you're comfortable with that. This is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 equals 8. Again, it's going to be more than just, 2 plus 2 plus 2. So this is 3 plus, again, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And that's going to equal 11. Okay? Again, you can pause and go back and take a look. I'll just keep moving here for the sake of time. What's the value of the expression below when p equals 6? So now and q equals 8. So we have, let's do our PEMDAS. Left to right. So p to the power of 2, or p squared, plus q to the power of 2, or q squared. P equals 6. So that's 6 to the power of 2. Q equals 8. 8 to the power of 2. Remember that 6 to the power of 2 means 6 times 6. So what is 6 times 6? It's got to know those math facts. 36. 8 to the power of 2 means 8 times 8, not 8 plus 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So if we add those two together, you can think about it, I've got 6 and 4, that's 10. 60 and 30 is 90. So that's 100. Again, I just added up my 1's and I got 10. I added up my 10's and I got 90. Just a fun way to do that. Okay. Okay, so now let's go down to 7, okay? So we have, what is the value of the expression below? We have 6 times j, 6j, minus, in this case, k over 3, which means k divided by 3. Looks weird, but don't let that get you upset. K over 3 just means division. Okay, so let's fill it in. Let's substitute in the values that we're using. Okay, so j is 9. That is 6 times 9 minus, and k is 12, minus 12 over 3. And again, that 12 over 3, again, all that means, I'll put it here and then I'll just get rid of it. That just means 12 divided by 3. You can think of it as 12 divided by 3. These are all ways to write, 3 ways to write 12 divided by 3. That's all. Don't let that be a big deal for you. And if you think about it, you know, if it's a fraction, this is what we've talked about before. That 3 means there's 3 parts to make a whole. 3 parts to make a whole. So if that's a pizza, that means 3 parts, 3 big slices in my pizza, and I have 12 slices. So I have enough to make way more than just one pizza, right? I can make 4. 12 divided by 3, I can make 4. So that's why when it's in the form of a fraction, it works. So we've got our PEMDAS, okay? All right, we'll put our PEMDAS, maybe this right here. So 6 times 9 is 54, a different color. And then we can go ahead and do this one since there's only 2 terms. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 54 divided minus 4 is 50. Our solution is 50. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this one here. I'm going to erase some of this work because I might need some more work down here really fast. Need some space, I mean. Okay, haven't used, I don't know. That's kind of a light color. How about a brown? Each large pizza costs $9. Okay, so $9. Each topping costs an additional $2. So if you have pepperoni, that's $2. If you have topping of olives, that's another $2, right? Cost of a large pizza can be found using the expression 9 plus 2t, which makes sense. So if you're going to buy something from the store, so it's going to cost you $9 for just the basic cheese, right? Pizza. And then 2t, what that means is 2 times whatever topping. So if you have 1 topping, that's 2 times 1. 2 toppings, that's $2 times the 2 toppings, okay? That's all they're talking about right there. Again, math is always going to imitate what's actually being done in real life. Where t is the number of toppings, which we already know, okay? What's the cost of buying a large pizza with 2 toppings? So here it is, 9 plus 2t, okay? And then we got our, okay? Now, it says, what's the cost of a pizza? So it's $9, and they're going to have 2 toppings. So that's 9 plus 2 times, and remember, t is the number of toppings. It tells you how many toppings do we have? 2. Use our PEMDAS. We don't have any parentheses or exponents, but we have multiplication, so we'll do this. So that's 9 plus 2 times 2 is 4. That pizza will be $13 for a large. Hey, that's a pretty good deal. $13 for a large. They forgot the anchovies. Okay, so you got to have anchovies and jalapenos. Preferably the pickled jalapenos. Those are the best ones. The other ones are too hot for me. There you go. So you got a pizza, anchovies, and jalapenos, 2 toppings, $13. That's a deal. All right, that's a wrap on this one. You did a great job. Great job. See you next time.